TLDR, my nephew's personality switched and he became violent, so my husband and I have a nephew, Ed, who has out of nowhere experienced a dramatic personality change. He usually is a sweet and happy person, but for the past couple months we noticed that he's been having more violent tendencies. I'm not talking about a little shove here and there, I'm talking about punching and trying to hurt people with objects. He was suspended from school for 2 weeks for throwing a chair at his teacher. My husband and I had been talking about it and have expressed to each other that we think SAL and BAL need to think about getting him into therapy, but anytime we mention any advice towards the kids, SAL gets defensive. This past weekend everyone was at my MIL house for a barbecue due to her leaving her to spend the holidays with her mom in Mexico. Everything was going good, the men were grilling, the women were chatting, and the kids were outside playing on the trampoline and jungle gym. I was talking to my MIL about Christmas plans when I heard my daughter scream. Looking out the window, I saw my nephew trying to force my daughter off of the jungle gym. Without thinking, I came out my heels and began running towards where they were, not noticing my husband already in front of me. Just as my daughter lost her footing, my husband dove and was able to catch her. My nephew had come down the stairs, and when I looked at him, he was smirking, and without thought I charged towards him and shoved him back. I was screaming at him, but I can't remember all of the words that was coming out my mouth. My SAL shoved me away from him and I shoved her back harder, causing her to fall down. I told her she needs to get him some fucking help, and before I could say more my husband was pulling me back towards the house to get our stuff. When we got home, I got the full story from my daughter. My niece and daughter were playing on the trampoline when my nephew got on and began playing rough and caused my niece to fall off. My BAL screamed at him to stop, and he proceeded to lay spread eagle in the middle, preventing them from playing how they want. They decided to just get on the jungle gym, and as my daughter was swinging on the monkey bars, my nephew grabbed her legs and tried to pull her down. She proceeded to kick him in his face, and he let go. That's when she went back to the top to slide down, and he proceeded to drag her to the edge and throw her off. My husband said he understands why I did it, but I should never put my hands on anyone. A part of me feels bad, but the other half doesn't care because he tried to hurt my baby. Edit: I just wanted to clear a couple things up. My daughter was not left unsupervised. Her dad, uncle, and MAL boyfriend was all outside when this happened. My nephew has been known to hit, but never have he once went that far, but I totally agree with the comments saying I shouldn't have had him around her in the first place. We have suggested therapy to my SAL and BAL multiple times before this event took place, and each time she got defensive and claimed he was going through a middle school phase. Update: AITA for smacking my older nephew for putting his hands on my daughter. After work today, the adults decided to meet up at MIL's house to hash everything out and talk about what happened last weekend, and honestly, I can't say I have good news. My nephew is currently in a behavior facility due to him trying to choke my niece after an argument over the game. I cannot describe in detail what happened because of how disturbing it is, but the police were called, and he was immediately taken. I have apologized to both SAL and BAL for putting my hands on their son, and they've apologized as well. A lot of tears were shed, and we are all just trying to come together with what we can do for my nephew. It is currently Christmas break where we live, but they do plan on having a meeting with all of his teachers, including both principals. After talking and discuss his behavior, we believe that he may be being bullied at school. Despite what a lot of you might believe, my SAL and BAL are not abusing their kids. They adore all of their kids. They are unfortunately just the type that fails to see a problem until it's too late, which I have mentioned they need to work on. I have begun helping SAL look for child therapist that can begin seeing immediately when he gets home. This is the last and only update. Thank you guys for the great advice. That is all we have of this story. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Corner Stories signing off.